All right, so I've been asked by a few guys who I've been working with in my private community and like private coaching stuff, which by the way, link to apply to that is in the description below this video. But I've also been asked by a few people on Instagram and everything, how do you like go fast and everything in like the slick corners and when it's flatter or maybe it's a bit overwatered and slick or it's like super dry and everything? How do you still go fast through those sections? That's what I'm gonna explain in this quick video. If you don't know me, I'm Logan Lesser, a national motocross racer, having won over 15 state championships and an amateur national championship. I'm an extreme sports athlete and ran a marketing agency for over 4 years, growing it to $30,000 a month. And while doing so, was able to travel the world living in Cape Town, South Africa, part-time throughout the past few years. And I've spent nearly $50,000 on mentors, coaches, courses, and education, learning from the best of the best in business, fitness, mindset, racing, and so on. Now I'm sharing what I've learned and growing my community, the Champion Protocol, linked in the description below. As they literally drench the landing of the finish line. But anyway, so basically what I explained to them, and these are like the main things that kind of I've learned that helps me also go through those corners and everything, is first off, weighting that outside peg big time. So for example, if you're going through a left-hand corner, then it's your right foot and you want to be pressing hard on that foot peg just so that you can kind of counterbalance the bike and make sure that it doesn't go and like you lean too far and it slides out and everything. So you want to be really counterbalancing by weighting that outside peg with your foot. And in order to do that, you obviously want to have your foot, like you want to be standing on the ball of your foot like this. You don't want your foot to be on the foot peg on the heel. Like imagine this is your heel right here and this is the foot peg. You don't want to be standing like this. You want to be kind of on the ball of your feet, which is basically like right behind your toes and everything. Like you don't want to be right on your toes. You want to be like right behind on the ball of your foot. That's where you have the most control and everything. So you want to be pressing hard on that outside peg going through those slick sections. Now, aside from that, another big thing is throttle control, like really being careful and actually aware of your throttle control through those corners, because you obviously don't want to like get on it super like a lot and then obviously slide out and everything and lose the rear end. So that's a big thing. But when it comes to throttle control, it's kind of hard to explain this particular concept, but I've always been a feeler, and I've actually been like told by trainers like, oh, you're a feeler. And it's kind of like when you're out on the track, if you're a feeler, you can like really feel everything. Like you can just feel the bike kind of gripping the ground, and you can feel it as it's starting to lose traction or as it's like gripping, and you can literally just like feel how much it is gripping, and then you can obviously adjust the throttle based off of that. And also even like the bumps and everything, like you can just feel every single thing. But when I say feel, obviously you're gonna feel everything but I mean like it's kind of hard to explain. You're almost feeling it in your mind to where you're able to adapt to it and adjust to it in the moment, like just subconsciously. So it's kind of hard to explain, but if you can kind of be a feeler and really kind of consciously try and feel how the bike is reacting in those spots on the track, then you can automatically adjust your throttle control and everything so that you're obviously not too much on it to where you're sliding out, but you're also not like going super slow and everything. So that's another thing. And then another thing that has actually been very, very useful when it comes to those slicker corners and stuff is actually shifting up, because when you're in like a super low gear and the bike is wrapping out, it makes it a lot easier for the bike for the rear wheel to start spinning in those slick corners, and then obviously you lose traction and potentially slide out and everything. Whereas when you're in a higher gear, then it's going to allow the bike to really grip the ground much better, and it's going to allow you to have way more traction through those slick spots and just allow you to really carry your momentum better. Now, the last thing I want to mention is that in those slick areas, you want to try and turn by leaning the bike more versus turning the handlebars as much. Because, for example, if you're going through a slick corner, if you turn the handlebars too much as you're coming into it, you're getting on the front brake and everything, that's going to cause you to lose the front end and go down, which that's probably my most, or at least in the past, it was my most common fall that I would have, and I'd have to work on this and stuff. And one thing that I worked on is turning by leaning the bike. And obviously, the more you lean, the more that you'll turn. And that's another thing, you'll feel it, like you'll feel how much you need to lean and everything, but you're still turning the bars, but not very much in order to get that turn and stuff. So that's the last thing to focus on in those slick areas, is you want to try and turn by leaning the bike. And it's probably definitely something that you have to adjust to, because obviously it might be a bit uncomfortable at first to like be leaning over in order to turn versus kind of just like turning the bars, because turning the bars is a lot more natural feeling. But when you get used to it, it's way smoother, and you're also going to be able to keep that traction way better and not wash out the front end. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Once again, if you want to apply to work with me and train with me one-on-one online, link to that is in the description below this video. If you want more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.